Good afternoon everybody, it's me again, ERNIE'S, with another Blu-ray update. I have a pile of Blu-ray films that I've recently bought in April. It's early May now, so May the 9th, Monday afternoon, so I thought I'd give you a quick update on what I've bought and tell you what they're like and stuff like that. Hopefully no spoilers. So we'll crack on with the first film that I bought. I'm going to show you the DVD region 1 of this and also the UK Blu-ray, so compare them all. So we're talking 1985, starring Tom Cruise and Mia Sara, and it's a Ridley Scott classic. When it first came out, there was 3 versions of it and some people didn't like it. We're talking about Legend. This is the region 1 American DVD DTS surround sound. It opens up with Tim Curry as the devil, and obviously it gives you the booklet and it gives you a double disc of Legend. Now the American version, which is released by Universal, has got the director's cut with a Tangerine Dream soundtrack, and it's also got the normal DVD version, as in the original American theatrical release they call it. Now this is the English version, released by 20th Century Fox. Tom Cruise, Tim Curry, Mia Sara. There we go. Now this one is the original European version, cinema version, with the Jerry Goldsmith score, which is amazing. And they've also got, as a special feature, the director's cut, which is the same as the Ultimate Edition. So there's 3 versions. The English one had the Jerry Goldsmith score, which is, as I said, it's great. It's a really good film, and the music is just amazing. Tim Curry, wow, as the devil. Rob Bottin did the makeup, and when you see Tim Curry in all his glory, absolutely fantastic. Tom Cruise, because he was only young at the time, excuse me, did a great job as well. Now, I've seen all versions of them, all 3. The Tangerine Dream score is more geared to the American side of it. It's all like electronic, digital and everything, whereas if you look at Legend as a fantasy and a fairy tale, the music from Jerry Goldsmith, which is all orchestral and everything, it's better. It's more, it gives you a better atmosphere. Now, this one, the only thing wrong with the director's cut in this one, a special edition bit, director's cut, is it's only 2.0 stereo. They haven't give it a DTS Master Audio surround sound track, whereas the European theatrical one has got that on it. I'm a bit disappointed in that section, but as I said, the director's one I'm not bothered about. Legend's a great film. I took my sister to see it. That's number 1. Going on to number 2. Now I bought this one steelbook from Germany in January, and I talked about it. We're talking, of course, Reanimator, which is in a nice, gorgeous steelbook. It's Reanimator and Reanimator 2 with, again, a DTS Master Audio soundtrack, and it's the unrated versions as in America, because in England they cut them to buggery. Always do, always will have. Now, recently, Arrow released the second one, Bride of the Reanimator. They've released Reanimator 1 in the past, but I didn't pick it up because I've got the steelbook of that one. Now, these have got the unrated versions as well, and they've also got the R-rated or the old 18 versions in England with this. This comes with a booklet. I have not opened it yet because it's out of print apparently, so they're getting very. In England, 3,000 of these were printed, as were in America. They had 5,000, and they were released on the 11th of April, and they become very collectible. Obviously, collectible if you still got all the wrapping on it, which I have. The reason I've not opened it is because I've got the both of them on here. The unrated one on here is on here. So I don't need to. That's more like an investment if you want to save in the future. So when people want it, I can trade it, do a deal with somebody. Now, the only thing wrong with this as well, it's got a PCM soundtrack and not a DTS audio. But I'm not too bothered because don't think I'm going to be watching that. because that's got a booklet in it, a comic book. It's 3 discs and it's pretty smart, and it only cost me 18 quid, and now it's rare. That one cost me €12, and it's a double, and it's a fantastic steelbook. Bride of Reanimator and Reanimator 1, great films. Now we want Beyond Reanimator. This next film came out in 2003, and from what everyone says on the internet and all that, it's the final film Steven Soderbergh, if I'm correct. Yes, Steven Soderbergh, he's directing. He's retiring, he says. He's retiring. Now, this, I'll just read the cast out for you. You've got Jude Law, Rooney Mara, who was in Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Channing Tatum, we all know him, and we're talking about Side Effects. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard very, very good things about it. It wasn't a hit, it wasn't a blockbuster hit, but it's basically, what I can gather of it, Channing Tatum and Rooney Mara are a young couple, just got married and everything, and she starts suffering with migraines and headaches and depression and things like that. So the Jude Law's character, who's like a psychiatrist type person, introduces Rooney Mara to this drug, and he does say it's got side effects. That's all I've heard about it. I've heard it's a fantastic thriller, really, really good. I'm looking forward to watching it when I go up to the caravan soon, or on a Sunday night. Side Effects only cost me £3, so I'm happy with that. Hope you like that one. Right, next one up. I've got the first 2. I've seen them all. And I've seen the third one on a download. We are talking about a huge, huge star cast again. This one, you've got Stallone, Jason Statham, Antonio Banderas, Jet Li, Wesley Snipes, Dolph Lundgren, Kelsey Grammer, some W wrestling guy called Courtier and Cruz, and Mel Gibson's in it, Harrison Ford, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Uncut Expendables 3. Basically, says what it says on the tin. Loads of shoot 'em up, blow 'em up, comedy, tongue-in-cheek, harks back to the 80s and 90s action films, and it only cost £3. So there you go. This one is another one. Think Scarface in the United Arab Emirates countries and things like that. And we've got The Devil's Double, based on a true story of starring Dominic Cooper. I've not seen it. I've heard of it. I've looked at the trailer, but I've heard it's really good. It's good fun. If you like action, a bit like gangsters and all that, that's The Devil's Double. And I think, again, £1.50 I paid for it. I'm not moaning. And it's full surround sound and everything. And it's most of my films have Dolby DTS Master Audio, which I like. Next one up, another one I picked up pretty cheap because I don't like brand new biomes because it's too expensive. £2.50. The guy's a legend. He's a legendary director. He's a legendary actor. He's one of my, well, probably my biggest hero of the 70s. Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, $1 Million Baby. I've got this on video and DVD. I've seen it. It's a great film. And it also stars Hilary Swank. She's basically a female boxer, and no one will train her because she's a woman. Even Clint Eastwood won't train her. He's not interested. Morgan Freeman sees something in her that a lot of people don't. And it's a very, very good film. It's not just about boxing. If you don't like boxing at all, it's not a Rocky film or anything. It's a good drama. And it's also sad. God, it is really sad near the end. It's one of them, you really feel for the girl. And it's won Oscars and loads of stuff, and it's a great movie. Clint Eastwood again. In my opinion, the man's a living legend. There you go. Next up, M. Night Shyamalan. He's made some good and he's made some bad films, and he's made some really bad films, as in rubbish. This one I haven't seen, but again, I got it cheap in a CAX. I think I paid £2 for it. Stars Paul Giamatti, who's now currently starring in Billions with Damian Lewis. And we're talking about The Lady in the Water. And from what I've gathered and what the trailer says, because I never fancied it at first, but I thought, well, I'll pick it up. If it's any good, I'll give it a go. If it's rubbish, get rid. It's basically, he plays a hotel, like a motel manager. And one night he finds a lady in the swimming pool. Turns out the lady is like Daryl Hannah in Splash, a mermaid. And it's supposed to be a nice film. It's a bit scary, but not violent, because it's only 12 certificate. But it's psychologically very good, and I've heard a lot about it. I'll give it a go, and if it's no good, I'll trade them back in. There you go, Lady in the Water. Right, this film came out just before Side Effects got made. Again, I've not seen this one. I've seen the trailer and I've seen bits of it, and I thought, I'll give it a go. It's a couple of quid, it's not going to bother me. Steven Soderbergh again, just before he retired with the last film I said he was doing. This stars Matt Damon, Rob Lowe and Michael Douglas, and we're talking Behind the Candelabra, the true story told from Matt Damon's point of view of Liberace. Michael Douglas plays Liberace, the grand gay pianist in Vegas. Huge star he was in the 60s and 70s. Matt Damon plays his young lover, and Rob Lowe plays his plastic surgeon. It's very funny from what I can gather and what people have told me about. Michael Douglas apparently is a revelation in this. You won't believe it. But for a couple of quid, it's a Sunday night movie. Glass of wine, see how it goes. And I'm interested to see Matt Damon portraying his gay boyfriend. It should be fun. He's not Jason Bourne, obviously. But there we go. Behind the Candelabra. Thank you very much. Right. This was a trilogy of books. With this one again, Rooney Mara's in this and Daniel Craig. I've seen this. It's really good. I got it cheap, but this is the remake made by David Fincher, who did Gone Girl and Fight Club and Panic Room, Alien 3. I love Alien 3. People hate it. I love Alien 3. It's a great film. We're talking The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This is the Hollywood remake of the first book in the film, because there's the girl who played with fire and the girl who did something. There's three of them. But this is I hope David Fincher does the other two of these. This is Daniel Craig and Rooney Mara. It's a good thriller, and I liked it. So I paid £3 for that as well. Most of these are all bargains. Poundland, Alton Short, true story, starring Christian Bale and Stephen Zahn. Werner Herzog, who did Perfect Storm with Mark Wahlberg and George Clooney. We are talking Rescue Dawn. I've seen this. I picked it up for £1. Can't moan at that. It's set in Vietnam in the late 60s, early 70s, and Christian Bale's true story plays a pilot who's been kidnapped by the Vietnamese and being held prisoner along with Stephen Zahn. And it's a really good thriller. It's well worth watching. So there you go, Rescue Dawn for £1. This guy is another living legend. He's going to be currently seen in the Magnificent Seven remake. He's also filming a sequel to this film. This came out in 2015. We're talking Denzel Washington, The Equalizer. I've checked the BBFC website and it's been released uncut, because I heard it was cut, this version. But I've checked up with the BBFC, which is the British Board of Film Classifications, and it's uncut. The Equalizer is a remake of the TV show where Denzel Washington plays a Home Depot stroke B&Q worker, and he's got a past. And it's fantastic. The body count's high. It's Denzel Washington. He could sit on the toilet and have a crap and I'd watch it. He's that good. The man is a great actor. What he does is make fantastic films. And this, forget the TV show, this is brilliant. And they're doing a sequel. If you've seen Man on Fire and you like Man on Fire, which was a 10 out of 10 amazing movie, this is on par with Man on Fire. Denzel Washington, The Equalizer, brilliant. And lastly but not least, this was the third in the Cornetto trilogy of films made by Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who were also in Spaced, and they made a load of other films. The first one in the trilogy they did was Shaun of the Dead. which took the mickey out of all the zombie films and the horror films of the 70s and 80s, which was a great film. I love Shaun of the Dead. Second one they did was Hot Fuzz, which took the mickey out of Bad Boys and Point Break and Starsky and Hutch and all the cop buddy movies. Brilliant film, absolutely great. The third one was a disappointment. When I first watched it, I thought, and I've got to give it another go. It was all right. It just wasn't on the league of them. The other film made Paul a couple of years ago about the alien he had in the van and going across America to all the UFO sites. That should have been the third one in the trilogy, but it didn't. It was told by different people. Edgar Wright got back on board. I'm talking about The World's End. Another big cast. Obviously Sean, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are in it, as is Kieran, no, it's not Keira Knightley. What the bloody hell's her name? It amazes me when they don't put a pissing name on, you can't remember them all. I know it's got him out of This Is England. Mr. Paddy Considine. Martin Freeman's in it. And a woman that I don't know the name of. But anyway, it's basically years ago when they were 18, early teens, late teens, sorry, they went on this pub crawl in their little village where they lived. And there was 12 pubs. And they never ever got to the World's End. The World's End is the last pub on this pub crawl. And it's supposed to be a famous pub crawl. So what happens is Simon Pegg, who's still basically a pisshead, a drinker, all his mates have all grown up and moved on. They've lived their lives and everything. But they made a promise that they'd all come back on a certain time, a certain day, and do the pub crawl. So he rounds them all up and they all go back, grown up adults, back to suburbia to start this pub crawl, to try and get to the World's End. And it's all right. It's not, the only thing that's annoying in it, and this is the truth, Simon Pegg, his character is just horrible. I don't like him. I just didn't like his character. I didn't like how he portrayed the character. Nick Frost, he just steals the film. He could sit there again like Denzel. He could sit there and watch telly and you'd watch him, because he's that type of guy. He's got that face where you think, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this because Nick Frost's in it and he's funny and he can be serious when he wants. It's a bit like Britain's answer to John Candy. Nick Frost is good. So that's all my films that I picked up from April, end of March, right through to April and beginning of May. So it's quite a good collection there. I've got some more coming. Oh, and I've also got, which is in the other room, sorry about that, The Force Awakens on Blu-ray. I picked it up now because I've got it on my set, so I'm happy with that. I've got all my Star Warses as well. That's a 10 out of 10. Fantastic movie. Anyway, everybody, enjoy the hot, gorgeous weather we're having in May, and I'll see you all soon with another video. Hope you enjoy it all. Don't forget to share it to everybody. Thanks. Bye.